Well, it's so funny because I'll give it to you in one sentence.
Yeah.
If I can do it, anyone can do it.
Nice. Okay, awesome. So look, I think the big thing for me is if you look at all the things that work really well for you growing Parker, growing practices, it had to do with getting out there. And something you've taught me, Dr. Fab, is that, in a previous conversations I've had with you, is if you put the service of the thing at the forefront, as opposed to yourself at the forefront, then it's not about you. And obviously that's one way to get over nerves of public speaking and all of that. But the other thing is it becomes bigger than you. It becomes bigger than you. And when it becomes bigger than you, you'll do more often from a discipline perspective and a commitment perspective to grow the thing that's bigger than you, which I think it's just your life is always aligned with that way of thinking. So I guess then pivoting into, because it's very relevant, so one of the biggest things that grow in my practices has been events. So we put on, this week alone, we've got 3 to 5 corporate events. We're going to companies, we speak. We've also got, from Facebook, we drive people into our practices and we talk. So we've probably got 10 events just this week from our practices. But I may teach a doc the strategies, but really the mindset to get over the thing to put yourself out there, if you don't get over that, you're never going to put yourself out there. Yeah. So just a little piece of advice from a guy that's been on mainstream TV, mainstream radio, written books. What would you say the big thing that's to help someone get over that and to put themselves out there, because it's essential for their positioning and their growth? So what would you say to someone, if I had to say that to you now, how do they overcome that fear, if you will?
Well, it's so funny because I'll give it to you in one sentence.
Yeah.
If I can do it, anyone can do it. I can't even write. When the idea came to me to do a chicken soup for the chiropractic soul, I wanted somebody else to do it. But then Mark Victor Hansen and Jack Canfield said to me, if you commit to doing it, we'll do it with you because we know you, we trust you, yes, and we know that you're going to deliver. And I'm like, I can't even write a sentence because English is my second language, and then I can't even speak because, English is my second language. And here I am getting paid $25,000 a speech everywhere I go. And it's not about you. It's about understanding that you bring value to somebody else. To me, the whole idea of the book of Chicken Soup for the Chiropractic Soul was to tell the stories of our patients in a medium that was acceptable, that was very exciting out there, because Chicken Soup was the biggest brand, as you know, in book series. Over 600 million books they've sold in the history of Chicken Soup. So we know that that's the case. So let me give you some other things. Number one is learn to embrace your imperfections.
Nice.
That's what I've learned to do. There is no perfect person out there, but the one thing that I can tell you that everyone is looking for is what I call authenticity. You don't have to be like anyone else. I can be funny, but I'm not as funny as maybe Ellen, right? Ellen is very funny, and she is one of our biggest talk show hosts. Dr. Phil is very serious, right? And he even tells me, he says, you got the face for television, I got the face for radio, right? But he's become very big because he's authentic with himself, with his audience, and that connection is what matters. So you got to find ways that you can be yourself, and don't be afraid to be yourself. So I'm going to give you my other secret, my mantra. So whenever I've done television, whenever I've done radio, and I put myself out there in a very uncomfortable position, I have a mantra that I tell myself, and I haven't really shared this with the public, but I'm going to share it with you because I think it's relevant. I say to myself, Ryan, even at my worst, I'm better than most.
Yeah.
Even at my worst, I'm better than most. So first of all, as a doctor of chiropractic, you're less than 1% of the population in the United States, in the world. Less than 1% of the population in UK. There's less than 1% of the population is a doctor. So that means that you're already at the 1%. Nice. You're an educated person. You've already sacrificed years in studying. The problem is that you don't think of yourself as that valuable because people are not coming to you telling you how great you are. You have to learn to tell yourself how great you are every single day. That's how you fix this uncomfortable fear of being exposed to other people. I still remember the first speech I ever gave, right? When we had those 50 students, I was sweating. I was messing up. I was trying to write my lecture and read it. It was terrible. But you know what? They got value. And more people came the next 2 months later, and more people came 2 months later, and more people came 2 months later, because I did not give up. I did not let my uncomfortable feelings stop me from my passion of impacting people's life. So that's where most people give up. They get a little bit uncomfortable and they say, oh, I can't do this. I want you to know that no one that does this is ever comfortable when they first start. Yeah. Oprah was not comfortable when she first started. You know, no best-selling author is ever comfortable on their first book. They second guess themselves all the time, but they do it. And they do it again, and they do it again until they perfect it. So just believe in yourself. If you have an idea of something that you can do or would like to do, that's already giving you permission. That's your innate telling you you're the person to do it. So don't question it. Just figure out a way how to get started. And if it's public speaking, start maybe with 3 or 4 people in your practice, or maybe get some friends over the weekend, and then get practice, get comfortable with it. If it's writing, just write a page every day. You know, within 1 year, you can have 365 pages, 1 page a day. That's all you need to do. And you'll learn to how to write properly in doing so. If you want to do radio, just get yourself invited into a radio show. It doesn't have to be anything big. It could be an internet radio that only has about maybe 200 audiences, but it doesn't matter. What matters is that you do it, get comfortable. The more you do it, the more you'll see that you have everything that you need to be successful. Remember, you're 1% of the world. That means that you're already at the top of the game. You just don't understand that. So in television, they teach us we have to teach the public on a 5th grade level. They don't want us using words beyond 5th grade. If a 5th grader cannot understand it, you cannot be on television. So you have to learn to be very simple in your language. We're very educated, so we want to use big fancy words, but that's not how people learn. No. You keep it very simple, and then you try to come up with relevance, you know, analogies or examples that they can relate to. And that way the message goes even deeper. And then thirdly, and the most powerful way to educate is through stories. Nice. Just share a story of a patient, share a story of something that happened to yourself, share a story that is meaningful, keep it brief, keep it emotional. But the most important thing is to create that feeling on the audience. So just be real with your stories and don't make up stories. Just be honest with them, but be emotional about them, because that's what gets people excited and that's what they'll remember.
Nice. Dr. Fair, that was amazing. You know, I think maybe it's relevant for me just to mention, I remember being taught this by one of my mentors, and it's really stuck with me. And he said the reason and he's also, he's done very well for himself online and also some traditional media. And he said, you know, the reason I'm standing here, the reason I've maybe had the success that I've had is my willingness to look stupid in public. My willingness to look stupid in public. Now, we don't want people to look stupid in public, but the willingness to go out and the risk to put yourself out there. But risk and reward go hand in hand, right?
Hey docs, thanks for watching the video. I hope it was helpful. If you haven't yet got my book, it's completely free, New Patient Avalanche. It's exactly how I grew my 8 practices, saw 10,000 new patients every single year from the strategies in this book. Everything's in here. It's completely free. All you do is pay for the shipping and the postage. Click on the link. I promise to help your practice grow. See you at the next video.